What's up, everybody? Sheridan Gaming here, and we're back for another World of Tanks Tech Tree Tank Showcase and Review. Today we're taking a look at the Tier 10 German light tank, the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. As you can see, it is a this goes back to more of the first couple of German light tanks with this angled armor here, and it's not a rear turreted, but it does have that gun that kind of moves independently of the actual turret, as you can see. But it does not have any armor, just like the previous two, only 30 down the sides. So HE will be thrown at you all game long if you're not careful. But let's go ahead and get to the comparison. So we're going to be comparing it to the Russian T100LT, considered one of the best, or the best, Tier 10 light tank that is not a wheeled vehicle. Then we've got the Sheridan from the Americans. I do have to mention this thing also has a derp gun, depending on your, how you want to run yours. But I honestly don't see these all that often, and I think whenever I see them, they're running the standard gun. The Manticore, which is basically just a giant gun on a very small tank, and the AMX-13 105, the autoloader of the bunch. So, DPM, right in the middle. Not great, not bad. Really good penetration for this tier, but the damage is a little bit low. But it makes up for that because it has a fairly fast reload time compared to everything else. It's right there with the Sheridan, but much faster than the Manticore. The EBR is autoloader, so it shows itself off. And then finally, a shell velocity that makes this thing viable of 1,200 feet per second. I don't even know how these are calculated anymore. But low on your ammo, so you do have to make the best use of your shots. Now, if we up, and it does have standard APCR, but we can go up to our heat rounds that give us a total of 280 pins, so you can definitely make that work in the sides of tanks and the backs of tanks if you use your gun, which I tend not to in most of my light tanks. Aim time of 1.53, best in class. That is one of the best aim times out of almost all tanks, I believe. Dispersion is also best in class, but still, even with the upped shell velocity, you're not going to hit every single target. You just don't have to lead quite as much as you did with the previous several tanks. In depression, because of that independent barrel, in degrees, so right there with the Sheridan, and better than everything else. Now, you can't aim up at stuff quite so well, but really won't be using this gun for the majority of players. Fastest forward speed of everything here, by even up to 10 kilometers per hour. Slower than the EBR, of course, because the EBR is wheeled vehicle, but it's not in this comparison. Reverse speed also up there with the fastest. Then we get down to armor. Like I said, this thing does not have armor. Heck, look at that. Rear of the hull, 8. That is like tier 1 level armor. Actually, this is all tier 1 level armor. That's one of the reasons this thing is considered one of the worst tanks, light tanks, period. Because on paper it looks decent, but for some reason it just doesn't perform as well as some of the other ones unless you know what you're doing with this tank. And then camo of 15.73. Not too bad. We can definitely get this up closer to 40 while moving and stationary. If you go with my setup, of course you can get that over that. It's a camo net. And then a view range of 420. Better than everything except for the Sheridan. So yeah, let's see what we do with our skills. First of all, you're going to want camouflage. You have to have Sixth Sense at this point on every single light tank, period. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to do concealment on the rest of your crew members, and then for your second skill for your commander, you're going to want to put concealment on him. And then eventually, I think there's a separate radio operator on this one, but you definitely want to get Brothers in Arms, situational awareness, and recon. There we go. Eventually you can go for more of the stuff for the shooting with the smooth ride, the snapshot, but that's not quite as critical with this tank. And then as far as our setup, the setup I would go with would be, of course, low noise exhaust, because I tend to move around a lot. So we want our coated optics, and eventually we're also going to want our commander's vision system that allows us to see through bushes and see stuff moving better. Alright, so let's see what stats that gives us. That ends up giving us right at 40 camo, so that's kinda low, but that is both moving and stationary. If you tend not to move, we can adjust that to make it to where it's a little bit lower moving, but better stationary. And then a view range of 497, so that gives us an additional 4% camo reduction on enemy tanks. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other setup you can run. You can also run, well, you can run that. You could also run it with the same setup with binocs instead of optics. But then, of course, you can also run a camouflage net. Although, you know what? At that point, I would be running the camouflage net here and the binocs here to try to increase our view range as much as possible. Of course, you also have access to bounty and improved, but I'm just going with just a general setup if you don't have access to those. So that changes it up a little bit. We get 42 stationary, but 32 moving camo. To me, that extra 2 is not enough to warrant running this way instead of the low noise exhaust. But our view range of 576. That is an additional 12% camo off the enemy tanks. So this is a viable setup here. I believe this is the top view range out of everything. In fact, other thing we could do, the commander's vision system, if you want to run it this way, you could put the vents in 589. That's 13% ammo reduction for the enemy tanks. And this all sounds well and good, but I swear this does not play out the same as you would expect from what I've heard from a lot of people. But let's go ahead and get over to that gameplay and see how it works out for we've got Joint here of the SIH clan in his Rheinmetall Panzerwagen on Prokhorovka. Prokhorovka? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Anyway, I have not watched this game, so we get to watch it live together. Alright, going, looks like straight for the bowl. Has a very viable light tank spot for a lot of players. I tend not to go to the bowl just because once you get there, you're kinda stuck. And of course, he is facing an EBR, and he has an EBR on his team. Something spotted him, probably that EBR. He is also running food. That would also give you a few points. Okay, getting back up into this bush. He's trying to spot the stuff. Did he get spotted? Yes, he did. That's the most annoying thing about EBRs here is they're so fast they can poke up and back down. But he's going to run away so he doesn't get shot by stuff up at E1 and D1 locations up on that hill. I'll come back up into this same bush, but the thing is he's got to try to get far enough into the bush so he does not get spotted. He sees the STB-1, he's going to call that target. Yeah, this is actually a really good location for light tanks, as long as you've got the camo to not get spotted by the EBRs. That's the one problem being this far up. Because they will literally just drive around in circles in the bowl, pop up every once in a while, and spot you out. Oh, so see? Oh, nope, now he got spotted. So he did get spotted by the EBR when it popped up. See, look at him. He's just literally driving around in circles in the bowl. We really need artillery. Oh, nice shot by his team EBR. Oh, oh, oh. I'm looking where he's going. Pretty common. They try to look towards the enemy they're trying to shoot. Okay, looks like that EBR has now moved out of the bowl. So now it's safe for him to be here. The problem is unless he has really good view range, the EBR is going to spot just because he can get further out there. But yeah, he definitely spotted that STB-1 and the 113. I believe he has coded optics instead of the binocs because you would have the little icon for the binocs when they go active or at the bottom. And he's basically just trying to make sure stuff does not move up into that D1, D1, E1 area. His EBR has moved into the bowl. He's gonna sit tight right here. Maybe. Oh, no. He's decided to move. It's like the EBR is further forward. I can't do anything here. He was spotted. Thinks there's someone right there. Thinks somebody's up there. I don't know if he spotted them or the EBR did. There he goes. That BZ from the center probably hitting. Looks like I think he was spotting them. Yeah. Oh. He was spotting the Foch. That's probably the EBR because a lot of that stuff went invisible afterward. That's the one downside of playing a light tank at this tier. There is going to be at least one EBR in your team, sometimes two. But he definitely was the one to spot that guy. Yep, there you go. Still thinks there's stuff right there. Like, please blind fire this location. Especially if the already blind fired that, that would be more likely to get stuff either to move or to stun the enemy to where he could see them because it decreases their the crew's abilities. Alright, their team has won the E flank. But they cannot push over the railroad because they'll get hit from stuff in the back as well. Alright, 2,000 spotting so far. Excellent. Get better. Slow game. A lot. This is that's the problem with this map. It's the affectionate nickname is called Camperovka because people camp on this map till the very end of the game and then try to run out and rush everyone. Right, there they go. They got the 113 down. Oh, and there goes his ally EBR. But they have spotted the UDAs. They should be able to finish this guy off. There you go. Oh, apparently the EBR was the one that spotted him. He didn't get any spotting damage from that, I don't think. They finally spotted out. Oh, he tried to shoot for once. Spotted. And now that the AMX has moved out, he can move up and not worry about getting spotted. Gonna try to shoot again. Now that they're sure that he has moved back, gonna move up. He apparently does have pretty good camo. And now this is the ideal location that you want to be in. with a tank with good camo. Wanting them to move up, be able to have shots. Because the problem is if he moves up and they're out of render distance for the enemies, he's just gonna get shot and they're not gonna shoot any of the enemies. Nice. Very nicely done. Mr. B said from the center. Now that he's gone, he can move up even further. He does still have to contend with that EBR though, at some point. Oh, he spotted something. Like, alright, I got the grill spotted. Everybody finish this guy off. The problem with sitting here though is if they see stuff behind him, they can accidentally hit him. Nice, nicely done. 3,800 now. That was a full kill on the grill. And this is how you play this map, right here. You try to eliminate the lights, and then you just slowly move up. There's the EBR. Gonna get a full kill on that as well. 5,700 spotting. Move up a little bit more. You've got to watch it for the EBR though, because the EBR is wandering around down there somewhere. They've got the T110E4. Dead again. 8,000. Yep. Racking up those points. Okay, keep moving up. Keep moving up. Keep moving up. Gonna get spotted. He was finally getting to position. Oh, there's the EBR. Nice. EBR gone. He has no competition for spotting at this point. STB and the 1T1B are not going to have the ability to outspot him. There's the STB. They finish off the Kronbahn already. One more shot. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. There you go. G100. GW100. Gone. And finally, I expect the 1T1 is probably over in this left corner. Oh, no. He's right there. He's hold down, and that thing does have a pretty good turret. He's going to get rushed from the side, and there you go. Alright, so 10,561 spotting. He did shoot a couple times, but did not hit. But that is very nice. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats of the game. That's definitely how I would have played that tank for sure. Alright, 11,800 spotting slash tracking. Assisting damage, spotted 7 of the enemies. Patrol duty, spotter, but sadly enough, missed out on that ace tanker. I was looking at the stats compared to other games of this type, and his base XP of 1079 just wasn't quite enough. They need to be just over 11,000 base XP in order to get that that ace tanker. But I swear, this was just so close to being an ace tanker. There are a few other games, of course, if you want to check them out on World of Tanks replays. Of course, I'm on the EU site. But yeah, if you check those out, there are some with ace tankers where they actually use their gun, get about 1,000 damage in a kill. Seem to give them just enough to get over that extra little bit that you need for the ace tanker. But anyway, if there is a specific tank you wish to see next, just leave that in the most current World of Tanks episode. World of Tanks tank review episode, and I will get to it. Normally I record about 4 in advance, so it would usually follow up the first of next week. Anyway, this is Sheridan Gaming, and I will see you on the battles.